So guys, if it's the first time here, kindly show me some love by liking this video. So Africa in general is happy and Africa is amazing. Why am I saying so? Because of the fact that a good number of Pan-Africanists, they travel all the way from their countries to go to Burkina Faso to make sure that they are standing with Burkina Faso. And in return, Burkina Faso offered them a permanent residence position. Now, some of these members, for example, Joshua Maponga and Dr. Ariakana, they spoke passionately about Africa unity during the meeting. So we can have a look at what they were saying in relation to Pan-Africanism. Then when we come back, we can analyze the video further. Let's have a look at what they were talking about.
Le début.
Burkina Faso is not a country.
Le Burkina Faso, c'est pas un pays.
Burkina Faso is an idea.
Le Burkina Faso, c'est une idée.
Right now, Burkina Faso is the biggest country in Africa.
Aujourd'hui, le Burkina Faso, c'est le plus grand pays en Afrique.
Because if you walk around the whole continent
Parce que quand vous marchez dans le
and
continent
ask how many young people
et vous demandez combien d'hommes, de jeunes,
want to come to Burkina Faso,
combien de jeunes veulent venir au Burkina Faso,
all the youth want to come here.
tous les jeunes veulent venir au Burkina Faso.
You as Burkina Faso, Burkinabés,
Vous les Burkinabés,
start thinking.
commencez à penser.
You are a big country.
Vous êtes un grand pays.
The ideas of Ibrahim Traoré, Captain Traoré,
Les idées du capitaine Ibrahim Traoré
have reached Europe,
ont touché jusqu'à l'Europe.
America,
Les États-Unis,
Caribbean,
les Caraïbes
and Africa.
et l'Afrique.
And we wish,
Et nous souhaitons,
I can say this on national TV,
je peux le dire à la télévision
the
nationale,
next biggest thing we must do,
la plus grande, la prochaine chose grande que nous devons faire,
now that I'm a citizen here,
maintenant que je suis un citoyen d'ici,
we want to recruit young people
nous voulons recruter les jeunes
from around the continent,
de tout le continent.
and they must come here
Ils doivent venir ici
and train
et recevoir l'entraînement
in national service,
dans le service militaire,
technology,
la technologie,
military,
le militaire,
education,
l'éducation
and social development.
et le développement social.
And when we have about 1 million young people,
Et quand nous avons à peu près 1 million de jeunes,
1 million Burkinabe young people
1 million de Burkinabés jeunes
who can hold a gun,
qui peuvent tenir un pistolet
hold an ejection,
et
write on a board,
écrire sur
answer a phone,
un tableau, faire la
we can
médecine,
march to Congo
on peut conquérir le monde
and put silence.
dans le
We
silence.
can go to Somalia
On peut aller au Somalie,
and put silence.
on peut aller en Somalie,
We can go to other African countries
on peut aller dans d'autres pays
where
africains
the presidents are robbing Africa,
où les présidents volent l'Afrique.
staying in France,
Et ils volent l'Afrique pendant
stealing
qu'ils habitent.
resources,
Ils habitent en France,
And
mais
we can take over those
ils volent
countries.
toutes les ressources.
and give them back to the young people.
On peut reprendre ces pays
So
et les
this is
donner à la
not just a
jeunesse.
trophy.
Ça, c'est pas juste un trophée.
I really want to believe this is the start of a great thing.
Ça, c'est le début d'une grande
I
aventure.
personally
Moi, personnellement,
will want to get involved
je veux m'impliquer
in the transformation of
dans la
Africa.
transformation de l'Afrique.
On behalf of all the soldiers that have fallen,
Au nom de tous les soldats qui sont tombés,
the Martin Luthers,
les Martin Luther King,
Malcolm X,
Malcolm X,
Sankara,
Sankara,
Nyerere,
Nyerere,
Samora Machel,
Samora Machel,
Sobukwe,
Sobukwe,
Robert Mugabe.
Robert
The
Mugabe.
list is endless.
La liste est
That
exhaustive.
vision
La vision
that they had
qu'ils avaient
for one Africa,
pour une Afrique,
it all relies on you
ça dépend de vous. Ça
As
dépend
young
de nous.
people.
Tous vous les jeunes,
as media people
vous les gens de la presse,
to send the right message.
d'envoyer le bon message,
Message of unity,
le message d'unité,
solidarity.
de solidarité,
Yes, solidarity.
solidarité,
One Africa,
une Afrique,
one nation.
une nation.
So I love the fact that Joshua Maponga is speaking eloquently about African unity. And this is the spirit of Pan-Africanism, okay? And I love also the fact that most of African countries, they are working towards pushing this agenda to the table. Most of African countries, they are working towards pushing this agenda to the table. Their agenda of African unity. Just today, I've witnessed and watched the president of Botswana, President Duma Boko, if I'm not wrong. So he was signing an agreement with Zimbabwe on the issue of travels. So Zimbabweans and Botswana people, they are free to travel within each other country without a visa. And that is what we need as Africa. They are just following on the footsteps of Kenya, for example. Kenya opened borders to all African countries, that if you have an African passport, you can freely travel to Kenya. Also, Uganda recently was added in the list, opening borders to all African countries. Think about Ghana. Ghana also did the same, opening borders to all African countries. And that is the need of Africa and the objective of African unity. Okay? That Africa should integrate. We have to open borders for African to trade amongst each other. Okay? So after Joshua Maponga, we also had Dr. Ariakana Chihombori, who also spoke eloquently and passionately on matters African unity. We can have a look at what Dr. Chihombori talked about. Then when we come back, we can also analyze what she spoke about in relations to African unity. So let's have a look at what Dr. Chihombori Kwao spoke. Here is what she said.
We're back home to Burkina Faso once again to join our brothers and sisters in celebrating the Culture Week. In addition, we're also here to hold Pan-African conversations in which we're highlighting the achievements, accomplishments achieved by the Burkina Faso youth, and we're celebrating all the work they are doing to build Burkina Faso. In addition to this celebration, we're also getting a sweet little surprise, though it's not to all of us, but some of us are going to be receiving permanent residency.
En plus de cela, nous avons eu une surprise. Ce n'est pas tout le monde, mais certaines personnes auront leur carte de résidence permanente.
So, unfortunately, not everyone is going to get permanent residency.
Malheureusement, ce n'est pas tout le monde qui aura sa carte de résidence permanente.
But the ministry wanted you to know that the process is in place and that they will be completing the process shortly. They ran into some challenges in order to complete it, but nonetheless, the few that they're issuing are going to show you that the process is in motion. And your cards, if you don't receive them today, will be coming.
Juste pour vous dire que ce n'est pas tout le monde qui va recevoir sa carte de résidence permanente, parce que ce n'est qu'une première étape. C'est un processus et à l'avenir, vous allez recevoir vos cartes de résidence permanente.
For that, we are truly grateful for all the work that has been done by the Foreign Ministry, also through by the Embassy in Washington, through the Foreign Ministry, and all the other relevant departments that have to sign off in order for the process to be complete.
Donc, nous disons merci au ministère des Affaires étrangères, nous disons merci à l'ambassade du Burkina Faso à Washington, et à tous les autres ministères pour le travail accompli pour que nous puissions avoir cette carte.
This is just the beginning of our coming home.
Ce n'est qu'un début de notre retour chez nous à la maison.
We plan to keep coming every year in larger numbers.
Nous avons le projet de revenir chaque année en plus grand nombre.
It is our duty and responsibility to join our brothers and sisters in Burkina Faso.
C'est notre devoir. C'est notre responsabilité de nous joindre à nos frères et sœurs du Burkina Faso.
They have done the heavy lifting, and the least we can do is be here to support them.
Donc, ce que nous pouvons faire, c'est être présents ici pour nous soutenir.
I'm particularly impressed and very proud of our youth.
Vraiment, nous sommes vraiment très fiers de nos jeunes.
Some of them are youth from the United States.
Certains jeunes viennent des États-Unis.
At a tender age, they've seen it fit that they must come home to Burkina Faso.
Ils se sont dit, nous devons revenir chez nous au Burkina Faso.
For those of my brothers and sisters in the diaspora who are coming here for the first time, I say welcome.
Pour membres de la diaspora qui viennent pour la première fois au Burkina Faso, je vous dis, bonne arrivée chez nous.
The home of the upright man.
Fellow Africans, the message is clear that Africa has to unite and unite immediately. We are seeing that from the Sahel region. They are setting pace for African unity. Okay? Giving the diasporas passports, giving the diasporas permanent residence, that you can come and invest in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is open. Burkina Faso has opened doors for investments to all Africans. That is a good thing. They are setting pace for Africa. And I am proud as an African to see this development happening in real life. Okay? Some of these things, our forefathers, they dreamt about them, but unfortunately they never came to pass. But we are very lucky to realize the fact that some of these developments, they are happening as we can see them. That's why we are talking about them. That's why we are appreciating what these leaders in Africa are doing. Not all leaders, but for the few leaders who want Africa to unite, we appreciate them. That's why we are talking about this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're first time here, kindly like this video and we can meet next time. Bye-bye.